This is your place for all things Grand Rapids Griffins and all things Toledo Walleye. This is the Hockeytown West podcast with your hosts, Brandon Cook, Nick Harrington, and Travis Foch.
So, golden ticket last week was not Hawk on Players Weekend.
I know, it shocked me.
And then it proceeds to go for what, $3,500?
35, 36, something like that. Like, good Lord. One, smart, because you know when you look at the lineup of jerseys in the season, the one that says the mayor on it's going to probably go for the most. And you make that one not the golden ticket that night. It was Corty, right?
It was Corty. And then another funny thing, I'm leaving from the arena that night, and I get a phone call from my buddy Brian, who sits behind me. He bought Keenan's jersey for his daughter.
Oh,
like
he
said
when she saw that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. She freaked out. Like she sent me so many messages. Like my phone, I just look and I have like 9 notifications on Snapchat.
That kid loves Keenan.
She sent me like 9 texts, and I'm just like, holy cow. Like, he's like, I just went up there and I was like, hey, I've never done this before. Like, what do you do? And they're like, you just yell out. And he's like, oh, okay. And I guess it was like,
he can yell.
I guess it was like going twice. And he's like, 13. And then ended up winning it.
Wow. Which, I mean, in the grand scheme of things, 1,300 on a walleye jersey is not that bad. I've seen worse.
It's not. But, I mean, that's
Lord.
a pretty, I was like, are you kidding me? Like,
those jersey auctions, man, they blow my mind every time I see the prices get shared in that Toledo Facebook group, and I just go, good God. Like, the Griffins ones, before we met you and knew of the walleye, we were like, these get expensive. And then we saw, I was like, holy, you know what?
Imagine if they were fully stitched, too. Like, fully stitched uniforms like the Griffins do. Like, oh, my God. You'd probably double the price just in that alone.
That's an insane thought. I don't even want to think about how much money would fly out the door those nights when you do that. Y'all are insane. I love it. I love it, man. Well, welcome back to the Hockeytown West podcast, your source for everything Grand Rapids Griffins and Toledo Walleye hockey. We are back with another Toledo Walleye weekly update. If you're new here, welcome to the show. If you're first-time listener as well, welcome. If you haven't yet, please hit subscribe. If you're watching on YouTube, hit follow wherever you get your podcasts. Hit like on the video. It helps out the videos so much, and we appreciate it. Leave a comment. Let us know how much you would spend on an auction jersey down in Toledo. Like, what's your max price and what player would it be for? Any player of all time. Let us know in the comments which one it would be. As we jump into this week, we've got some news and updates, and I know this one's probably going to cause a little bit of a rant between the two of us to start off with, but take it away, Travis.
Well, the big one, and the one that really sucks, is Chad Hillebrand's going overseas to Slovakia. Released from his PTO today and doesn't even make an appearance back in Toledo. He's gone just like that.
Just like Nolan Moyle, basically.
Same thing. Released from PTO. Next thing you know, they're gone. And it sucks. Like, Moyle sucked because, like, you had so much, like, he was off to a really good start, a lot of speed. Like, he just provided an element that he had some size, right? Size and speed, and not like 6'6" size, but he was, 6'1", 6'2", and could play center, could play the wing, and he had so much.
10 points in 9 games too.
Yeah, above a point per game player. And then, like, he left, and they did a lot of winning, right, while he was gone. So it's like he comes back, and you're like, now he's going overseas. It's like, well, I was told, like, yeah, they did do a lot of winning without him. So, I guess that's a plus, right? You got to find them where you can when you lose guys. And then with Hillebrand, I did not expect him to go overseas. It really sucks because he was the size, right? Like, that was the guy that was the size and the physical presence. Like, he used his body well along the boards, won a lot of board battles, puck battles, went to the front of the net, scored them in tight goals. Like, just a big man with a lot of skill and a lot of, really good hand-eye coordination. And that, leaves the organization. So to me, there's a hole there. Now, again, he was gone for a while. They did a lot of winning without him here. So again, that's where it's like not a total sound of the alarm, but it does suck. Like, it it definitely sucks.
It sucks to lose a personality like that. Great dude, goofy guy, always fun to interview and talk with. It sucks when you think about it even bigger picture, right? Both those guys were in Grand Rapids, and the Walleye did keep winning while they were gone, which is a great thing to see. But those guys were in Grand Rapids. That was Grand Rapids depth right there. Signed to PTOs, called up. Now, both those guys that were called up, gone. We can't call them up anymore if needed. The Griffins are still battling injuries. You don't have Carter Mazer. John Leonard's currently out, suspected to potentially be back Friday or Saturday, which is great. But I look at the lineup right now and I go, are we going 11-7 until Lenny's back? Like, the depth is gone unless what? You're signing another Walleye player to a PTO, and we're just going to continue this vicious cycle of guys coming to GR and then performing really well, proving that they should be in the American League, and then not getting that American League two-way deal, and then going, well, I did really well. These teams are now interested in me. Bye, guys. I'm going to go make money. Like, that's kind of how this is happening, and erasing that depth at this time of year sucks.
Yeah, like guys aren't coming in yet. Like you're not to college free agency yet. You're not to guys college season's ending and them signing potential entry level deals with Detroit. You're not at to the point of the year where overseas is done and guys are going to be coming over to Grand Rapids, right? So that are already signed to ELCs or could potentially sign to ELCs with Detroit and then get reassigned to Grand Rapids. And Waddy said, we're going to continue to use Toledo. Dude, your depth's leaving. Like the main guys that like you could potentially see go up, right? Especially like they're all leaving. Like you cannot let these guys leave the organization. And that's like what I said going into the year, like they don't have enough AHL deals. They don't have enough AHL deals. Okay, well, they signed 2 guys to PTOs. The first one gets released, he's leaving. Second one gets released, he's gone. So it's now like you had the opportunity to sign guys to American League deals. You could keep them in your system as depth in case more injuries happen. And now they're gone. They're not even an option. Like,
it's not like you need to sign them to like long-term deals. You just sign them for the rest of this season to a deal. Like,
right. And it's not
that
like
simple.
And it's not like you don't have the space. They have what, 5 guys under contract?
Something like that.
It's
yeah,
like,
I mean,
I think it's 5.
but maybe they don't have this. I mean, we don't know what the salary looks like or salaries look like for the Griffins and like what their budget limit is. Maybe it's not a cap thing. Maybe it's their budget. Who knows?
I mean,
But
it's
at the same
horrible
time,
asset management. It's horrible
it really
asset
is.
management.
Yep, that's exactly where I was going to go with it. It's bad asset management, and there's only one person to look at in the organization when you say that, and it's Sean Horkoff. And we've had instances before where we're left scratching our head, like the Red Savage incident where Yzerman said Sean was working to get that deal done, and Red Savage ain't here no more.
That's another guy. Like,
yeah, like it sucks because like you look at guys on the Walleye now and you go, God forbid a Griffin gets injured and we've got to make a call. Like, you're going to pull another guy from the Walleye and it's going to hurt them. You're at the point of hurting them. Like,
well,
what are we actually going to actually see that Brandon Hawkins Griffins PTO get signed at some point in time? Like,
I don't know.
Like, that's where we're at. This is terrible.
Like, listen, there's a lot of guys in that room that could do it, right? But like, Toledo's kind of getting to a point where like they can't afford it to happen. Like, the simple equation would have been just sign Moyle, sign Hillebrand, and oh, sorry, you're going back to Toledo in case an injury comes. Like, at least you're under contract with the organization, and now they're not. Like, especially up front, like GR's been killing Toledo this year. Not so much on defense and goaltending. Like we've had.
Yeah, you still got 2 defensive players that are signed to GR down there, and you got a goalie.
Yep, through GR, you've got Gyro and you've got
Truscott and Andrews.
But up front, I mean, they're just depleting them up front. Like the two impact forwards now have gone up there and have been not like, well, they've been released and then they go overseas. But like for them, like great if they get the money, right? The money side of it, great. Like, you know that the guys in the coast are not making the most money in the world. It's well known at this point. So I mean, if you can get a a quick bag, good on you for it. I'm all for guys making more money, but at the same time for us, like, it's like, guys, we need you. Like, stop leaving.
Yeah. Yeah. Cause like you just said, like for the player, you love this. They got a chance in the American League. They showcased their stuff and they got deals to go get paid. Good for them. You love that for the player and the person. For the organization, you're like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
This makes no sense.
Well, and it's not like Toledo's fault. Like,
No, it's not.
there's only so much you can do, right? Like it falls more under GR not signing these guys to American League deals and just reassigning them to Toledo. In my
100%. Because Toledo's doing the job of bringing guys in that catch our interest in Grand Rapids. We pull them when we need them, but we're not signing them. That's the misstep, and that's 1,000% on the Griffins. And it really sucks to see this have such a negative impact, and losing two guys of that caliber that could come up and make an impact. Each one of those guys made a great impact in the Griffins lineup on that fourth line. You could argue that there's players that have played on that fourth line this year that those two should have been in the lineup over. Like it just sucks. It's terrible, terrible asset management. When I originally saw the PTO was, not extended and he was coming back to Toledo, I was like, oh, maybe Leonard's good, but we're still running thin. Maybe we're getting a guy from Detroit for the Olympic break. Who knows? We doubted it, but we didn't really know. And then once we saw the transactions update on the ECHL website, we're like, oh my God, you've got to be kidding me. Here we go again.
And I wonder, this is one thing that maybe I can ask Pat. I don't know if he would say it or not, or if he was prepared for this potential. Maybe there was a rumor that this could be a possibility because they signed Johnny Waldron earlier this week. So maybe Pat was signing him as insurance potentially. I don't know. I'm just throwing something out there as a possibility.
Yeah. Which you can assume like there's some communication probably between player A and coach A.
Yeah, agent, coach,
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So
there's a business side.
Oh yeah, 100%. But it just sucks that Pat's doing such a great job bringing in this talent that can come play in the American League, and he doesn't get rewarded by it. He gets screwed.
Yeah, it's tough. It sucks. Like I said, sounds like we're going to see Johnny Waldron this week, so that's exciting.
Yeah.
New face.
Yeah, let's talk about him for a second. We've got a new face coming in, a new fish in the pond, and we've seen his NCAA stats, but as we've seen so many times with guys that come from college to Toledo, we can't judge them based on those stats. You got a 6'1" right-handed forward coming in. That's you hope can produce. That's all you can hope, right? I mean, shoot, we've seen some of these college guys come in and make a name for themselves, right? You look at one I could think off the top of my head, recent times, Ambrosio coming in late in the season, and you're like, oh, all right, now he's a stud.
Yeah, last year you had Moskal. He was a big face-offs guy. Moulton was huge at the end of last year.
That's right,
so
Moulton was another one.
What's very interesting is he's leaving college middle of the year. I find that very bizarre.
It happens. If it strikes, you're like, I'm not going to get drafted or anything, and I got a chance. Let's go.
Yeah, it's just interesting, right? Because if you look at it, this was his fourth year of NCAA. Like, I don't know how that works out, but it's interesting to me. But it's funny. I said this to Ambro last night while we were skating around the ribbon. This used to be the mini BG factory, and it's slowly turning into a Red Hawk factory. There's now going to be 3 former Red Hawks on the team.
Yeah. I believe they've all played together.
Yeah, they all would have been together last year. So
yeah,
exciting for that. I mean, another familiar face for Moulton and Colby to get, a guy that they've got some familiarity with. I don't know.
Put them on a line together, see what happens.
Yeah, well, it would be Johnny and Ambro together with Moulton being a defenseman, but we'll see. I mean, it sounds like he's gonna be in the lineup this weekend, so I think that's
Mark exciting.
Said.
Yeah, there's the positive out of all the other nonsense we've talked about so far. You brought up the ribbon, though. Let's talk about the event, the Walleye Skate at the Ribbon this year. You got to skate around with some of the guys, and they were kind enough to entertain you interviewing them during the skate. What a cool event, though. It's very similar to the Great Skate here, obviously, in Grand Rapids, but it's not a 24-hour event. I think that would have killed Travis if I made him go there repeatedly through a 24-hour period. But cool event. Super cool to see the guys take the time. And dude, some of those interviews were just a vibe. Like he's just a vibe, man.
Well, it's funny because he came up to me initially and he goes, "How's your skating skills?" And I was like, "Why are you asking me for my opinion?" I was like, "You're the pro here. Like, you should be telling me outright." Like,
Did you do the hot lap he asked for?
no, we didn't do it.
I would say I hope if you did that he filmed it for us.
Yeah, no, there were way too many people, and it sounded like I think it was Gyro that said last year he's like, "Dude, you couldn't move a foot." Like there was like almost too many people, which I
I'm
think
not
this year.
surprised.
I think this year they like you had to buy a ticket and it was a little more limited so that you could actually skate around. That was cool. Shout out to the kid rocking full goalie equipment. That was awesome. He was buzzing around. And then the cool thing for me personally, the family that I used to sit next to in 117, 117, they were there. And I come around the corner to like the big common area because there's one big circle when you step onto the ice and then it goes into the ribbon, which goes out and around. And I was standing in that area and I noticed that they were standing there. I was talking to them and like their youngest daughter, like she was barely able to stand when I sat next to her and she's 5 now. Like, and
Dang.
she's out there skating around. I was like, oh my goodness. Like,
Good Lord,
that's where
Grandpa,
I
you're
was
getting
like,
old.
oh my God. I feel old and I'm not old. Like, I was like,
No,
I was like, I was like, I feel old now. And they're like, yeah, imagine us. Like, I'm like,
it
holy
may
cow.
shock most listeners that Travis is the youngest of the three of us.
I
We
just
joke
had
and
that
call him
like,
Grandpa, but
I just had that like wow moment with that. And then Hawk with his little guy, like just buzzing around. That was cool
and he didn't
stuff.
trip you.
No, and he complimented me, which I think you said that's going out tomorrow.
It'll
What's
probably
it?
go out tonight still. I was going to post it at like 7, and then I stopped the post when all the other news that is broken in the hockey world came out. I'm like, this is going to get lost in the shuffle so fast. So it might come out tomorrow. Yeah.
It was good to get on the ice with him and buzz around with him for a lap and got some guys to agree to come on the show. We just got to line up some interviews. The one in particular, he's like, "What? No," said no. And then so that was kind of my doing, but a little funny thing with the one person. We can't spill the names yet, but
Yeah, you can't spill the names yet. We got to make sure everything is lined up first. So we've done that once, and I'm like, nope, not doing that again. But no, that's cool, man. I'm glad you got to go do that. And all it told me was I need to get my butt on the ice and work on skating so I could do it at the Great Skate next year.
yeah, 100%.
Or come down to Toledo and hit up the ribbon with you guys. So.
Yeah, it was cool, man. I mean, it was
It's a
very
cool
neat
setup,
event.
man. Like
It is like, and it's right next to it's on the other side of the river. It would have been really cool if they put that where the sports arena used to be, but the development was so much later than with what went there, but still a cool thing.
No, cool stuff. All right, well, let's hop into these games. We've gone on long enough with other nonsense. Let's talk some hockey. We've got the first game last Friday night against Kalamazoo on the road. What happened in this one? Because I was obviously in Griffins land during this.
Just an offensive output finally against Kalamazoo. They could pull away, right? Dickinson stays hot, continuing to just produce at a crazy level. And as of late, the Keenan goal, that was a beautiful little give and go right in the middle of the ice. Like he drops it off and just goes around the defender. Great return to him and great shot by Keens. But the one goal that really stood out was Jordan Ernst's goal.
Yeah, you sent that to us and you're like, oh my God. And I was like, yep, oh my God.
It's great edge work because he like was skating backwards and he kind of glided sideways and then just turned on the jets. And man, he's got some speed. Like when he gets going offensively, like, or not offensively, but yeah, I guess offensively. But when he starts moving his feet, like he has the potential to just skate around people. And you've seen it on that play. That was a beautiful goal. And then Tanner Kelly just continuing to produce, right? Like he's been hot as of late, and he scored some goals this weekend that were beautiful and huge goals at the time they were scored. And Nolan Lalonde played great in this game too.
Yeah, I was just going to say, it looks like he had a fantastic night again, especially against Kalamazoo. In Kalamazoo, sometimes our goalies don't have a great time, and it looks like he had a great night.
Well, and I think too, like I don't think he played the weekend prior, so he had a
No.
weekend off, so he was fresh, and you could tell that he was fresh in that game. So, he continues to play well, and it was good to see them with Kalamazoo finally get a lead and build on it. That was probably the biggest thing, and they could put them away. But yeah, just a good performance to go up there and to get a win up in Kalamazoo.
I think what I like about it the most too, when you look at, we talk depth scoring all the time, and you look at 4 of those 5 goals didn't have Brandon Hawkins associated with it. You guys were able to pull a lead out or get a lead and then pull away without having to rely on him doing, the scoring or the assisting, which we talked about a lot in like the last Griffins episode where, when like Leonard's away, you want the other guys to be able to step up and contribute. And you see the guys come together and do that in a game against a team that they struggle offensively with. It's a really positive sign.
Yeah, very very big thing when you don't have to rely on one guy to score all the goals, right? And produce all the offense. And, he did have a point in this game. So
Oh, of
let's,
course. Yeah. You had the empty net goal.
yeah. So you get that. And I think the biggest thing with him is it's like you said with Leonard, they don't have to rely on him every night. And if they can find that secondary scoring, that's only going to help. And then the nights where Hawk pops off for 4 or 5 points, like, it's like, oh yeah, there,
And everybody's having fun.
yeah, then everybody's having fun, and he's shooting the puck 15, 16 times a night. So,
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. We've got to talk about the event that was that night, the Motley Crew night, which
yeah,
won so random, but I love
no,
it. Kalamazoo's jerseys were,
Motley
aw-
Zoo night.
sorry, Motley Zoo, whatever. Kalamazoo's jerseys were awesome. The whole theme of it with the guys coming out in warmups with the mullets on, elite. Hawk with the mullet on for the ceremonial puck drop. It's fantastic. It's good stuff. I
You
should
can,
make my appeal to my suspension for making fun of the hair, early on in the season when the league says, "Oh, that's what you look like with hair" in their social media posts, Hawks. So maybe, you give me a break, give me that one game back. But overall, just a really cool night, and it's cool to see them like include Toledo in it.
yeah, the puck drop was hilarious. I loved that. And it's cool to see Hawk dip into it, right? Like have fun with it.
Yeah.
He's a guy that he's no guy to be shy about having a good time. So I loved to see that. Melzak even got a kick out of it on the broadcast. So that was a cool thing, right?
I think we all did when we saw it.
Yeah, funny moment, and credit to the league for dipping into that too, posting the photo. So that was cool stuff.
A good theme night by Kalamazoo. I was actually pretty impressed. I saw they had like a stage in one of the ends too with like a live band up there.
Yeah,
I was like, man, they leaned heavy into it.
Yeah, I heard that was like the worst cover band ever from a reliable source.
What can you ask for, man? It's
credit for trying, I guess.
Moving on from that, we'll head into Saturday's game again against Kalamazoo, but this time at home, and a little bit different of a result, I would say.
Yeah, tough loss, 3-2. Felt like they were going to tie it when Craig scored late in the game. Like there was still 2 minutes left, and you're like, oh my God, they're going to do it. They hit the post 3 times after Craig scored. Net empty, and they hit the post 3 times in the last 2 minutes with the net empty. They could have won the game like 5-3. Yeah, some nights you just don't get the bounces, right? And, they were just kind of humming along a little bit. And then the McKinnon fight happened, which, Will McKinnon, I was not familiar with your game.
Yeah, same.
Didn't know he had that in his toolbox. So that's
which he told you post game. He's like, yeah, I'm cool with it. I like it.
And yeah, that was cool. Glad I got to talk to him about it. The bonefish was back out, which this year's a lot better than the last couple. They weren't as Iowa Heartlander-ish.
They're still very Heartlander-ish.
They were, I will say, there were some very subtle details in this year's ones. Like they had fins on the sleeves, like the bone fin, and then the numbers were really cool.
Yeah, but see, it looked very Heartlander-ish when you throw the yellow buckets on them too. Like it didn't help the situation.
You didn't like that.
I was not a fan. Look, when I was down in Toledo last, I saw some of the classic bonefish jerseys. Even just your plain black jersey with the bonefish on. Can we go back to that?
Can we get a baby blue one?
I don't know how I'd feel. I need to see your imagination on that, but I do. You know me, I like a black jersey, so I'm always going to default to that. But like, where they had the logo stitched on, like I'm guessing these were supplemented.
Well, it was stitched on the outside, just the big
Okay,
outside stitch.
but like, let's go back to that. Like, get rid of the gray. It just gets so Heartlanders ish when you start throwing the gray and the little yellow accents in there. I'm like, it's the freaking Heartlanders again. I
I will.
I
I
love
like.
that. I love that logo. Clearly, it's one of my favorite logos they have.
Yeah,
We just got to do a little better on the jersey, in my opinion. Little bit better. We could do better.
I feel. Well, there's a lot of they take a lot of heat with the jersey. Some of the specialty jerseys, they've done some
It's one
good
of the
ones.
better specialty jerseys in the season by far.
Yeah. They've got some good ones this year though. Like they've had a couple that
Mhm.
were good. Like you like the Crayola night ones.
I love the Crayola jersey. Love the Zamboni jersey.
Um, not to get off into a jersey rant, but
Yeah, it's easy to do with you.
I'm gonna reel us back into the game a little here. I will say the one thing that looked really off in this game, was the power play, which very, very weird to say on a Toledo show.
Yeah, it's
But
not what we're usually talking about.
there's a reason they went almost 2.5 games without a power play, 150 minutes and 22 seconds between power plays. And you could tell that they weren't as crisp. They couldn't set much up. There just was no fluidity. And I'm sure they work on it in practice damn near daily, but
Oh yeah.
it just was one of them nights where it was off and you could tell it was off.
I love one thing for you, and I'm going to give you some flowers here. One, paying attention enough to ask Pat that question afterwards to be like, is it just because that you guys haven't had one in so long? And in-game is so much different than practice, right?
Yeah.
You can practice it all you want, but the in-game situation, yeah, you go a couple games without a power play, it gets a little rusty. It's 100% a fair thing and a fair assumption to make with it. And I loved his answer on it. Love that you were paying attention to at least ask that question. And yeah, that's exactly what it looked like. Just a little rusty.
Well, it's hard. You bring up the asking it in post game. It's hard to keep what you want to ask everybody in line because you're trying to formulate, okay, who am I going to talk to? What
Yeah,
are my
tell me about
questions
it.
going to be? Because like for you guys, like it's a little different the way we do it down here. Like you guys, you can have a paper in front of you, like,
Yeah, I
and
don't even do that anymore. It's still too chaotic to have it all written out because then I'm missing half the game sitting here writing down
yeah,
questions.
but like it's an option that you could do. Like for me, it's all ad lib, and you're like trying to figure out like, okay, and then you think of something when you're on your way home. You're like, damn it, I didn't think to ask about this, and now I thought about
I
it.
do it every game.
Yeah, I have that moment in the car going home every game to like, shit, I meant to ask about this and I forgot. So
Yep.
yeah, that
Anyways.
happens. That's the first time in walleye history. So since they become the walleye that they haven't had a power play in back-to-back games,
Wow.
which is
Wow.
crazy to think about. You think
Credit to the other teams for staying disciplined?
for those two
Question
games?
mark? Yeah, right? Yeah.
And the Kelly goal, we got to talk about the Kelly goal. That was a beautiful, beautiful play. To get it back to him, made a beautiful move around the guy and backhand from the slot. Great play by Tanner Kelly. And
Yeah, man. Tanner Kelly's been a guy. Been a guy I've been getting more and more excited about every week.
you start to see him get the puck and you're like, okay, good things are about to happen. Early in the year, there was that like, okay, he's a rookie, he's figuring it out. And you see that maturity as he's grown as the season's gone on. And now, like I said, he's getting first power play minutes. He's playing up in the lineup compared to where he was in the beginning of the season. Actually, both rookies are at the moment. And just a huge goal at that point in the game. It was like the fight kind of gave them a spark, and then Kelly scored and they got back into the game a little bit. Huge goal at the moment. And like I said, he's starting to really stick out when he has the puck. Like he's becoming a threat. And I would say more of a consistent threat than what like Ness was last year. Like Ness, you can remember Pat was talking about how high of a shooting percentage he had.
Mhm.
Like Tanner Kelly, you're starting to see it consistently. So like a good rookie find here. They've got something.
Yeah. I really like this guy. I'm liking to see just the continued development of a rookie like this. And it again goes back to crediting Pat for bringing good guys in. Like you remember when we talked about this team heading into the season, there was so much unknown. We didn't know because you look at their stats and you're like, what are we doing? And
Yeah.
then they hit the ice and you're like, yep, all right, he was right again. Look at this guy go. Credit to him for just continuing to be able to scout and find talent, and the scouting staff with Toledo. I know they have their scouts too that are
Yeah,
obviously
Ed
play into
Burkholder.
that part, but it's impressive to see them continuing to just find these guys that can come in, either develop into something special, or they just come in and they're special off the bat. And you're like, where'd you find this guy?
Yeah, to kind of transition this into another point, like you look at what they've done with the lineup, like with where some of these guys are at, like and Craggs gets a goal, like hopefully that can kind of unlock him a little bit,
I hope so.
I will say like very key element in the penalty kill, and they have him playing with Hawk right now. So they're trying to get him going, and I think they're trying to get Roy going or Waugh going at the same time. I know I did it again, but when you say it one way for a quarter of the year and then it gets switched on you, it's hard. I think if they can get those two going with Hawk, a little more production offensively, it's only going to help the team. I know we're going to get into a line that's absolutely cooking here in a little bit, but just one thing I think maybe seeing like with Craggs, seeing a goal go in, maybe that can spark him a little bit offensively. I think they could use a little bit more from him offensively. His play off the puck's been pretty good. Like I said, huge key component to that penalty kill. He's always out there in the PK. So that's one thing you could tell they're trying to do is with those two, with Hawk trying to get that going. Huge that he, like I said, got a goal in this game.
Absolutely hope that's the spark. And, it sucks to drop this game at home. Like, you hate losing games at home. That's the worst part. But again, it's just regular season games against Kalamazoo. For some reason, they go one of two ways.
For the most part, very close all year too.
Mm-hmm.
The one outsider is the night before. That's about the only blowout there's been. Obviously, there was the night Toledo, that game was tied. Still called bullshit with the crossbar goal. But like they were getting blown out and they crawled back and they only lost by one, albeit the one goal didn't go in, but it's neither here nor there. Every other game, like Pat's said multiple times in post game, it's like a playoff game. Like, and whenever they play Kalamazoo, it's tight checking. There's not a lot of space. It's just they play each other so tight.
Well, I mean, Kalamazoo's got to play it like a playoff game. It might be the only playoff intensity they get this year. Who knows? Moving on from that, we're going to hit a quick ad break. When we come back, recap the third game of the weekend. We're going to talk about one of the lines more specifically, give you our 3 stars of the week, and an ECHL standings update.
Super Bowl 60 deserves a sportsbook built for the moment. DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of Super Bowl 60, puts you right in the center of the biggest game of the year. Anything can happen during the Super Bowl, and DraftKings has your back with early exit. If your player goes down in the first half, you can still get paid in cash when your bet settles. No bonus bets, no waiting. While other sportsbooks don't offer injury protection, DraftKings covers the entire first half, even the second quarter. And early exit works on live bets too. Pre-game or in-game, DraftKings has you covered. We've got the Super Bowl coming up. Seattle Seahawks versus the New England Patriots. Going to be exciting. I don't know if you've been following the Seahawks this year, but I think they are the favorite. At least with the guys here at Hockeytown West, they are. New to DraftKings, new customers can bet just $5 and get $300 in bonus bets if your bet wins. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use code THPN. That's code THPN to turn $5 into $300 in bonus bets if your bet wins. In partnership with DraftKings, the crowd is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. New York, call 8778-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. Connecticut, call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. On behalf of Blue Hill Casino in Kansas, wager tax pass-through may apply in Illinois. 21 plus in most states. Void in Ontario. Restrictions apply. Bet must win. To receive bonus bets which expire in 7 days, minimum odds required. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio. Limited time offer.
And welcome back. All right, well, we just talked about the Walleye power play struggling in a game. We're going to transition to a game where they went 3 for 3. Holy offensive outburst from the Walleye, and poor Cincinnati on the other end of that.
Yeah, power play was so back on Sunday. That's the only way to really
back.
the only way to really describe it. In the note, I put holy offense because that's about. It seemed like every time they shot the puck, it was going in.
Yeah, I mean, you win 6-3. I hope that's holy offense. Good Lord.
Well,
that's only on 25 shots. That's 6 on 25.
I know. I'm like, it's like, damn, every fourth shot's going in the net damn near. The thing that stuck out to me is they got the lead. Since he would get a goal and then Toledo would build on it and then they'd score and Toledo would immediately respond. They were like, nope, You're not crawling back in this. And that was the one thing for me that really stuck out. I would say maybe not Matt's best game statistically.
No.
Not since he's
16 to
been here.
19.
But at the same time, the one was maybe not the best thinking back. But outside of that, overall, he's been really good.
Look, if you're going to have your bad night and you choose that night to be the night your team scores 6, have your bad night.
Well, I did say a couple episodes ago, can we get this guy some goal support? Well, they gave him the goal support, so it didn't matter.
Yeah.
So, like you said, if you're going to maybe have your off night, this is the night to maybe do it. The first goal, the first thing I thought of is like, why is Truscott standing in front of the goaltender pulling a Thomas Holmstrom? And then like the most like little turnaround and just tap in I've ever seen. Like almost,
Easily.
he was not like right in front of the net when he tapped it in either. Like he was falling away. It was like a fadeaway tap in, and it looked like he barely hit the puck, but it went in. So got a good
We'll
little.
take those when we get them. We'll take those.
You take the offense from him when you get it. And Kelly again, another goal.
Another 2 goals.
Yeah,
Two of the 3 power play goals came from Tanner Kelly. That's 4 goals this weekend.
Yeah, it's just not fair. Like,
not fair to the other team. It's beautiful for us. Like,
yeah.
TK going off this weekend is one thing I didn't see coming, and boy, do I love to see it.
I know, and we just talked about him at ends, and you continue to talk about it, but you score 2 power play goals. Like I said, first power play unit, so he's going to get opportunity. And when you're out there with guys that, let's be real, are high skill players, like your power play one's generally the most skill on the ice. So yeah, it's just like he continues to produce, and you love to see it. And then like the Hillman goal just completely broke him.
Yeah,
that broke the Cincy goalie, and great area pass too by Waugh, just to kind of flip it out into the middle of the ice, and Hillman skated right into it. And the Cincy goalie at that point was just like, get this thing over with, please. Like, can we be done? Just holy offense, huge offensive night. Louis had a goal. Hawk
had a goal.
Yeah, that was
23rd of the season.
That one, it reminds me of, I believe it was, I want to say it was an OT winner he scored down there this year, almost the same spot on the ice, same style of play. And you could see it. They cut to it, and it was like, oh my God, he's got the whole net. He's going to score. Like, you could see like that whole side, and he scored this goal in the same exact spot, almost the same exact spot on the ice. Like, and it did the same thing. It cut to it, and it was just for a momentary second that you seen so much net. And I was like, yes, it's in. Before I even shot it, I was like,
you see that much net with that puck on that man's stick, it's in.
Yeah, I was like, yep, there's no way he's not scoring here. So, you get 4 of 6 points. They got 5 of 6 the week before. Like, they're humming along here.
Love to see it. And what? We gave the power play all those flowers for going 3 for 3, but hey, the PK was 3 for 3 too.
Yeah, and they almost scored shorthanded.
God, if they would have gotten another one. I'm just waiting for that next shorty.
I know. Like, I don't think they're going to get to the record, the Toledo record, which is like, I think it was 20. That's going to, like, they got to get 8 more. The all-time record's 24. I think they're still at 12. I want to say it's 12 or 13. But the big thing, like you said, the penalty kills is one thing we could talk about. I don't have it pulled up. Their kill as a percentage on the road has not been good.
Right. And to be able to go do that on the road is a great thing. In a game like this where, 1 power play goal for Cincinnati. This is a 2-goal game, and it's a lot closer than it looks on paper.
Well, you're seeing 4-goal leads get blown every single night in the NHL, essentially, now. Like, that's what used to be the 3-goal lead is now 4-goal lead.
I covered the Griffins last year, dude. I'm used to that.
Wow.
The second half of the season, a lot of 3-goal leads blown. Remember? It sucked.
It did. It did suck. I just pulled it up. Road penalty killing, Toledo is 20th, and they were lower than that at one point. So the last couple of weeks, they've really improved on the road with penalty kill. At home, they're 3rd at 88%. And overall, they're 8th in the league. So it's
like the opposite of the Griffins, where the Griffins' power play at home is atrocious, but it's great on the road. And Toledo's penalty kill on the road is but at home it's great.
Which kind of makes sense too, because you go on the road, it's going to be tougher to play on the road. But think about this. So on the road, they're at 79%. The top road penalty kill team is Kansas City at 90.
Jeez.
Imagine if Toledo can get into the mid 80s.
Yeah, I mean,
Like-
it would be nice, especially like when you break that down to, and you're like, well, at home it's going to be a little easier. That some of that percentage gets credited to the fans. We'll
Well,
give them
eighth
the credit.
overall, like if you get into the mid 80s, you're going to have the number one penalty kill in the entire league. And they already have the number one. They already have the number one power play at 31.2%.
Jesus, absolutely insane.
Their first
31%. You had a night where you went 0 for 3.
Well, and think about this too, like 28% at home on the power play. Okay. 33.3% on the road. Which GR's penalty power play is really good on the road, awful at home. But think about that, 33% on the road. 33%.
Yeah, I'm gonna need Steph Julian to call up Boehner and be like, "What do you guys do on the road?
What do you guys do in general? Like 31%.
Well, that too, but you know,
dude, they're 31%. Second in the league is 22, and that's Fort Wayne. They're what, 9% better than Fort Wayne's power play? 9%.
That's absolutely bonkers.
Yeah.
Wow.
It puts that into perspective real quick. Like, yeah, it's 12 shorthanded goals now that I have the daily report pulled up.
Yep.
First on the road,
insane.
and shockingly, they don't lead it at home. But they've scored 9 of those 12 on the road, shorthanded.
So your power play is that dominant on the road, and your penalty kill is scoring 9 goals on the road.
Well, maybe that's why the percentage, like they're like, fuck it. The percentage is bad, but we've got 9 power play goals. So what?
I mean, you can't argue with that logic if that's the actual thought process.
I'm sure it's not. I'm sure they want the percentage to be better.
But who's gonna argue that with somebody? Like, yeah,
you're like, we got 9 shorthanded goals. Our percentage isn't great, but we score a lot shorthanded on the road. So.
Does it show you how many how many goals against, like on the penalty kill, they have?
Power play goals against. It's 19, 3 off the league lead. Florida and Kansas City have 16 that they've allowed.
So you have 19 power play goals against. That's on the road, or is that total?
That's total. So on the road, they are at 12. So 12 of the 19 are on the road. At home, they've allowed 7.
So think about it this way. You've erased 9 of those 12 with shorthanded goals.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously those all don't happen in the same game, right? It doesn't work like that, unfortunately, but that's still
okay. So yeah,
insane.
You're what? -3?
They're -3. Wild hockey stat of the day right there. That stat deserves its own graphic at this point. I just don't know how you'd function it to make it look readable.
I mean, it's crazy to think about that. Like, I know we went onto a little bit of a special teams rant here, but
it's not even crazy. It's just stupid.
It's
just a stupid stat.
That 33% on the road is just, that's in and of itself is stupid.
And I mean, you're only allowing that many shorthanded goals. It means you've played 40 games this season.
Right.
That's still a pretty dang good result right there. I like it. All right, we did go on a special teams rant. That was not in the prepared note. We got to talk about Toledo's second line. That line of Ertz, Dickinson, and Lewandowski.
It's the best line on the team right now. It's not even close. Like, that line every night's taking games over, it feels like.
What is it about that line that makes him take games over, though, when you look at the other 3 lines on the ice?
Well, some of it's Dickinson, like, just starting to pop, right? Like, he's really started to excel, and that's another guy, shoot the puck maybe a little bit more. I think they want him to shoot some more. And he's starting to score. So shows like, if he starts shooting the puck a lot more, he's got the playmaking ability. Louis, high-end, high-skill player in this league, can dish it, can shoot it. The one for me that I really like is Ernst. The straight line speed, like Dickinson's got that IQ factor that he's good 2 ways, but like you can tell, like when he's got the puck in the offensive zone, it's like, yeah, you can tell why he was drafted in the 4th round of the draft, like in the NHL draft. You can see it. But to go back to Ernst, like this is a guy a month ago was playing on the 4th line, and I was like, I want to see this dude get an extended role, like an expanded role, play higher in the lineup. He comes up, and that line all of a sudden is now the best line on the team. And they're a real problem, I think, potentially. I don't think it's so much a problem, but it could be if they want to keep Craggs and Wah with Hawk. When Cruz comes back into the mix here, you got to remember, at one point last year, Cruz, Louie, and Craggs was probably the best line on the team at one point.
I do remember that.
Like, that line was humming at one point. So, like, do they go to that route? Do they move Ernst and Dickinson up with Hawk to put that line that was so good for so many games last year together, that second line? Again, this is where I'm glad I'm not Pat putting a lineup together. I think if it was me, I would love to see Ernst and Dickinson go up with Hawk. And then this is when Cruz comes back, and then reunite that second line that was so good at points for last year with Cruz.
Well, yeah, I mean, imagine
Craggs,
Ernst
Louie.
with a guy like Hawk that can dish the puck from literally anywhere on the ice.
Yeah, and
Like, you're talking breakaways after breakaways after breakaways.
yeah, well, he scored on a lot of those this year.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Like, that got me a little excited there, Travis.
I know, and like that's where
Cruiser needs to come back then.
I'm hoping he's close. Well, I don't know. But like, and that's the thing too. Like, you got to remember, like, Ernst scored 37 goals last year with Peoria in the SPHL. Like, he had 37 goals last year. So the guy knows how to finish, and he's got 10 this year. And like I said, it's been this last couple of weeks, like that line has been the most noticeable line on the ice to me. So I don't know how this is all going to play out. Like, it's great to get a guy back, like potentially in the next couple of weeks with Cruz, but then somebody's got to come out. Who is it? And do they keep Craggs and Roy with Hawk? Do they reignite that line from last year? Like, this is all fun stuff to just kind of spitball and talk about.
Yeah, no, 100%. And I think if you get Craggs going on that first line again, you have to try that when Cruz comes back. I think the thing I like about it the most when you look at it, we have Waldron coming in. We don't know what we're going to get from him yet, but then you have the Cruz back in a couple of weeks at least. At least Toledo's set up depth-wise better to where you lose a couple of guys like Moyle and Hillebrand, and you've at least got guys to replace them. And one of the two, you at least know what you can expect from him, and you can throw him out there in a line combination that's worked so well.
And healthy.
So, exactly.
Because clearly he must have been hurt down the stretch last year. If he didn't, he signed late and he missed the first half of the season, that generally indicates, hey, I was hurt down the stretch. So
yeah, exactly.
We don't know that, but it certainly seems that way when you look into it and dig into it a little deeper and think about things. Going to be very interesting to monitor.
I like it. Good point to bring up there, sir. All right, transition out of the games into the 3 stars of the week. I have a feeling, without even glancing, I know who the first star is, but who are the second and third?
So I did Louie for the 3rd star, 3 points, 1 goal, 2 assists in 3 games. Secondly, I went with Dickinson. Like I said, continues to just produce offensively while being a 200-foot center. So that's a big thing. And then obviously Kelly, right? 4 goals in 4 games.
Yeah, no disagreement on those. Obviously, I have no grounds to disagree with you.
The goal on Saturday alone is warranted for the 1st star. Like,
yeah, it is. Yeah, no, I don't disagree with you at all there. Those are the 3 stars of the week for the Walleye there. Moving on to the ECHL standings, give you guys a little update on what's been happening around the league. We'll start in the Central Division in the Western Conference, obviously. That's where the Walleye play. They're leading the division. They have 4-point separation on Fort Wayne now, which when you look at how the season started for Fort Wayne, you're wondering, are they going to be the top dogs in this division? And Toledo's got some separation. Same amount of games played. You kind of start to feel like Fort Wayne started off a little hotter than they might actually be. I know they've dealt with a ton of transactions. I feel like that team signs a new player every week at this point. So I think they're just trying to figure it out. There's no doubt in my mind that they're still a dangerous team that's always going to have to be respected when we play them. But it is good to see some separation there. You go to 3rd place with Bloomington, 3rd place for the Bison still. Like, 2nd-year team. You do love to see this.
Today.
And sign Garrett Sparks. And I asked Travis immediately, when's his first trip to Toledo? Because I remember his last
Wheeling
trip to Toledo when he played with Wheeling. And I've never ever seen a backup goalie get heckled by the fans when he's on the bench. Unreal. unreal moment.
In a
That's a
playoff
hockey
game.
memory. Yeah, you got to say that it's in a playoff game. But that's a core hockey memory I'll never forget. Thanks to you, Toledo fans, watching Sparks' wires absolutely get crossed based on that too. It was hilarious. So that Bloomington game when he comes back is circled on the calendar. Especially, God, if he starts, oh boy. Back to the standings here. In fourth place, you got Indy. Kalamazoo is in fifth. Cincinnati in sixth. And Iowa down in seventh there. Matching their parent team with 12 wins on the season.
Yeah, I just wanted to point this out before we move on to another division that, like, you're starting to see separation, right, with the top four and the bottom three. Iowa's done. Like, they're pretty much out. Their math is bad. They've played the most games in the division. They're damn near 20 points out. Like, I don't think they're getting in. Cincy and Fort Wayne, the math is not good. Now, granted, with as many in-division games
Cincy
as
and
there
Fort
are.
Wayne?
Or Cincy and Kalamazoo, I'm sorry. It's been a long
There you go.
time.
I was like, the math's pretty good for Fort Wayne. I don't know what the heck you're talking about.
My bad. So you see, this is what happens, and we can all have a laugh at Travis for getting that wrong. Cincy and Kalamazoo, both at 39 points. Like, their math's not great being that far back. Now, like I said, the in-division games helps. Not going to rule it out yet, but you're starting to see a little separation. In Toledo, I mean, Christ, they're almost 20 points clear of the playoff line.
It's kind of crazy when you look at it at this time of year. You can kind of start to see it, which especially when you look at this division last year, right? That last spot wasn't decided until the final game?
Yeah, nobody wanted it. Remember, it was like 4 teams going into the last weekend. You didn't know who's going to get it.
Yeah. So interesting to see that separation this year. But I don't know. I never count Kalamazoo out. Like, I just can't, because we've seen them be so streaky. They can go on runs and then they can get in a rut too. But I mean, if they go on some runs and Indy slips a little bit, then it gets interesting again. So obviously, I mean, it's February. It's not time to talk playoffs just yet. But if you're those teams, you're looking, you're glancing, you're giving a side eye to those standings going, we might need to kick it into another gear here. Mm-hmm. Iowa, though, it's just, I mean, I know they started off the season at the top of the division just based on games played alone because they played so many. But as it's balanced out, just seeing that fall, and I know there's been injuries, call-ups, we talk about depth between Grand Rapids and Toledo. You can talk about depth between the Iowa Wild and the Iowa Heartlanders. It's non-existent. So you kind of feel bad for them, and who knows? But it is funny that the Iowa Wild and the Heartlanders have the same amount of wins.
State of Iowa is struggling.
Yeah, and when you look at the same amount of wins too, Iowa Heartlanders have played 41 games. The Wild have played 43. So fun stat of the day there. Hopping over to the Mountain Division. Kansas City leading that division there at 64 points. Idaho behind them at 59, and then Tahoe behind them at 50. Some crazy separation there in the top spots in that division. Allen in fourth, Rapid City in fifth, Wichita in sixth, Utah in seventh, and Tulsa in eighth there at the bottom of the division, also with 12 wins. Seems to be a trend with teams between the AHL and the ECHL. If you're at the bottom of the division, you probably have 12 wins right now.
That division, man, dude, that heavyweight tilt probably in the second round of the playoffs, most likely with Kansas City and Idaho, that could be fireworks. Like, Kansas City's playing unreal, and former Walleye Marcus Crawford is just tearing apart the league right now. He's probably the hottest player in the ECHL. I don't love to give a lot of flowers to other people, but like other teams, but you kind of have to. And the guys, I think he was just player of the month, and like that team alone, they're 9-1 in their past 10. Like, LaFontaine's still there too, so great goaltender in net. Like,
fantastic goaltender.
Yeah. So just something to monitor. I mean, they're rolling, which is,
I mean, if we're talking conference finals again for the Walleye this year and it's against Kansas City, they're not going to like how last year went. So,
be 3 years in a row too.
True. That'd be insane.
And then the other option potentially is probably Idaho if we get that far. So
let's make it Tahoe. Let's do something new.
Dude, I might go to Tahoe if that happens.
That's what I'm saying. Now you're with me there.
I'd take Rapid City, but I don't think that's going to happen.
Right.
Go see the monuments out there.
There you go. We'll head over to the Eastern Conference. In the South, the Everblades are leading that division just by 1 point. Atlanta behind them with a couple of games in hand as it stands right now as well. So a tight race at the top there. South Carolina in third. Savannah, Orlando, Greenville, and Jacksonville make up the rest of that division there. This division, I think, is going to end up being one of those nobody wants it races in fourth place there. But
Well, the math
Orlando's
favors-
resurgence into fifth place is impressive.
Yeah, but they have the worst math in the entire league.
Yes, they do.
They've
But,
played
hey,
44 games, and like it's going to probably come down. Like Greenville has the best math here, as we're 32-ish games out from the end of the year. They've only played 38 games and they got 40 points. So they're only
hockey left.
They're only 3 back with 2 in hand on Savannah. So it's probably going to come down to Savannah and Greenville. I think it'd be cool if Savannah got in.
I think that'd be sweet too.
Ghost Pirates, that place is sweet. I went there, so that is a cool place. And like Jacksonville, they've played the most games in that division. They're not out of it, but they got to get going if they're gonna. So that's where you're at there.
Head over to the North Division. Wheeling still leading the top of that division there at 55 points. 3-5-1-1 in their past 10, though. Something to keep an eye on. Reading, I got it right this time. Sorry. Reading in second there at 50 points. Adirondack in third, which I saw a photo from a Adirondack game the other night. It was a weekday game, packed.
Well, yeah,
which you love to see.
And they play heavy. They are not scared to fight. They just went out and traded for Amesbury a few weeks ago. They're not scared to throw them. So like that's a heavy physical team over there in Adirondack.
Yeah, the penalty minutes show for sure. 647. I don't know what that compares to the rest of the league right now, but oh my. In fourth place, you got Maine. In fifth, you got the Railers. Travis wants a playoff matchup with them so bad.
Oh, dude, I'm there. Like I'm going. Like no doubt.
Book it already done.
And
That's
I'm buying a jersey and
matchup.
get railed on the back of it. Like.
Anyways, after the Railers there, you got Trois-Rivières in sixth, Norfolk in seventh, and Greensboro down there in eighth still. They have 10 wins, so they break that whole theme I just talked about with 12 wins. They break that. But a first-year team, they're trying to figure it out. It's kind of expected in this league.
Bottom 2 are out in this division. I'm gonna say they're done.
Yeah.
Trois, they might be done too. Like
hopefully in a couple of weeks we'll make sure that's for sure.
Hopefully we can put the nail in their coffin.
That would be sick.
It kind of would be poetic justice if that's kind of the weekend that Toledo could potentially end their playoff.
Have their coach have to look back and be like, dang, that weekend against Toledo killed us.
Yeah, and
That'd
it's like,
great.
Especially when you look back to last year, and it's like analytically Toledo dominated that series. They just didn't win it on the scoreboard. Like, still irks me.
Well, I mean, that's what happens when you no longer have the second coming of Martin Brodeur in net. Like, God.
Yeah, I mean, like Toledo ran through the gauntlet last year. You get through LaFontaine, and then you got to go and play fucking Cavlin. Yeah, and he's with Maine. He's in the Maine organization, so don't let him get in. Otherwise, you could potentially.
I don't want to see him ever again.
I don't either, but
unless he's playing for us, but I don't think our goalie situation gives any indication that would ever happen.
I like our goalies, man.
I do too. Going back to that penalty minute thing too, Adirondack actually does not lead the league. South Carolina does 721 penalty minutes on the season right now. Goes South Carolina, Adirondack, Idaho. A lot of potential heavy playoff teams there to play. All right. I have nothing else for this week. What is the upcoming schedule for the Toledo Walleye?
Only 2 games. The boys get Super Bowl Sunday off.
I'm sure they're pumped.
God, they deserve it after January. The league did them no favors of a month in 3-3s. Like, that was a gauntlet.
That's
especially
brutal.
And you figure 2 of them went to the All-Star game in the middle of it too. So a long January coming to an end. They play home versus Cincinnati Friday night, and then they're at Fort Wayne Saturday. So big 4-pointer on Saturday. If it's a regulation win, you look at that as a 4-point swing there. And another game with Cincinnati. They've played them a lot lately, and I think they play Cincy the most this year, and there's still quite a few games to go with them. So You're turning into what was Rockford a couple years ago or last year for Grand Rapids, where I think they played them like.
Or you mean Milwaukee this year? 12 games?
Yeah, I think we got Cincy like 14 this year. So
Good night.
I want to say it was 13 or 14.
Thank God it's not a team that plays like heavy like Milwaukee, where every game is a freaking playoff game, it feels like. Like, thank God you guys don't have that 14 times. Having that 12 times is already brutal enough.
Yeah, and I think the one guy that loves it is Hawk. Like, I think he just torches Cincy. Like, if you go,
he loves it.
If you break it down against Cincy, like, he torches them. So, yeah, that's your upcoming schedule, and I'm just glad they get Sunday off. Like,
that's sick that they get Super Bowl Sunday off.
You know what I really hope happens for the guys? They win both games, and Pat goes see a Tuesday. Like, gives them a couple days off. Like, how big would that be?
You can see what a day off does for a team. Like, we talked about the Griffins needing that day off Sunday, and look at their response last night in Milwaukee. So
100%.
Those day offs mean a lot to the guys. So, and you also got a theme night on Friday night. You got Jeep night. That's the reaction I expected. That's the only reason I brought it
everywhere, probably.
Oh yeah, we need some Hockeytown West ducks for that night. If it keeps to be a reoccurring theme night, we'll get some ducks made up for you. Travis is sick of me. All right, it's time to wrap this one up. Thank you all for tuning in to another Toledo Walleye Weekly Update. Stay tuned for our next episode next week, which will be a Grand Rapids Griffins update, the last update before the All-Star break. And we'll have a bunch of All-Star content as well being shared everywhere, as Nick and I will both be in Rockford for that game. Super excited for that one. Before we wrap up, we got to thank the sponsors of the show, DraftKings and Everything Hockey Clothing Company. When you're betting with DraftKings, use code THPN. When you're shopping at everythinghockey.com, use code WEST to save a few bucks off your order. It helps you save some money, and it also directly supports the show. So we appreciate you guys for checking that out. We also got to thank our Patreon subscribers as well. If you want to join these lovely folks, head over to patreon.com/HockeytownWest podcast. Get unedited episodes, bonus episodes, and some other tiers. We're going to rework the tiers in the coming weeks here, so stay tuned for that. And people who are already over there, don't worry. We're going to make sure you guys are taken care of on that end as well. And those people are Zach, Darren, Peter, Joe, D-Boss is D-Boss, Tyler Engels, John in Florida, Elaine Grace, Griffin not from GR, Derek, Lori, Allen, and Michael. Thank you guys so much for the love and support. We appreciate y'all over there. That's all we've got this week. Everybody have a fantastic weekend. And as always, go Griffins, go Walleye, and we'll talk to y'all again soon.
Thank you for tuning in to the Hockeytown West podcast. Be sure to check us out on Twitter at HockeytownWPod and your hosts, Nick at GR Hockey Guy, Brandon at Brandon GR Hockey, and Travis at Trav in T-Town.